trying to make sure my hair does not come undone. I got out of church this morning. My hair was sticking every which way. Get ready to swim anyway and wash it, so it doesn't matter. My name is Suzanne Kamara, and I used to admin the blog, well, not the blog, the column, No Longer Quivering for Pathos. Now I no longer do that. Now I just work on my own stuff, my own projects. I'm writing a book called What Not to Do When You Move to Costa Rica. I'm involved in a few other things. Unfortunately, I am involved in the hot mess that is the Katie Joy, Tati Westbrook lawsuit. Well, not really involved, just kind of adjacent. How about that? Well, I'm sure by now everybody has seen the 220 plus pages of the newest Precipe. Emily read through it last night. Emily D. Baker. She read through some of it. She summarized it. And all I can say after seeing it and reading through it and summarizing it is it just seems like the whole point was they were trying to prove that Lori Ann Burkhart had lied. Um, I don't believe it. I believe that all the emails and things that they're trying to share, yeah, they're real. They took place. But I think once Emily realized that she was about, not Emily, I'm sorry, Lori Ann. Hey, Amber. Um, Once Lori Ann realized that she was in the jackpot over this, she needed to come clean to Salty. So all this talk of first declarations and second declarations is just utterly ridiculous. Lorianne came out to Salty. Salty talked to her, put together the narrative, wrote the document. Michael Brown whining that the document should be invalid because it was a second declaration is meaningless and it doesn't speak of jurisdiction, which is the entire paperwork was supposed to be about jurisdiction. They're in the jurisdiction phase. Right now, it just looks like it's idiotic mudslinging. She did not sign the first one, Ninja Girl. You are absolutely right. She did not sign that first declaration, which means that it is hearsay evidence. They can't really use it to claim anything. And it's just mudslinging at this point. It's ridiculous mudslinging. But I didn't really want to talk about that today. Today, what I had to talk about was I just wrote a piece from my blog about emails. Emails that YouTube doesn't like you using the word. Let's just say squishy, suspicious emails. Ever since I started talking about KJ, ever since she stood me up, I suddenly started getting some interesting spam. There are times when I get more of it. There are times when I get less of it. Anytime I speak about her here on YouTube, I get a flood of it. Usually like 20 or 30 of them. Last night was a new low. It was well over 100. I'm not even sure why because I haven't spoken about KJ in any way, shape, or form. I was getting on to Little Red for not thoroughly screening Irish badass. But I don't see Red or her moderators or her supporters being the kind to do the Katie Joy thing. Not that I believe that Katie is doing it herself, but I believe that, especially after seeing Lorianne's declaration through Salty, I believe that this is ordered by her, even if it is probably not done by her. Last night, I got a pile of them. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to link to my blog. Um, Spam, 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 and eggs. You're right. Monty Python. Spam a lot. Spam a lot. Anyway, without a crystal ball, and her spam a lot. Uh, I've never got a lot of spam. I've gotten a lot of the Nigerian, I would get occasionally Nigerian letters going, "Greetings, my dearest friend. I have $17 million and my husband, dictator so and so, left me and I need your help getting it." Get one of those every now and then. That email box that they're sending all this to is a public one that was linked to NLQ that I have a billion folders set up for. There are keywords, certain things go into certain folders, certain things. Like I know if it's a family or friend, they usually say certain things. It goes to the family and friends folder. If it's NLQ, if it's no longer quivering, it goes to there. And I just deal with it when I get around to it. The spam ones are very few and far between, except when talking about Katie Joy. Then they suddenly explode. Last night's were interesting because they ran the entire gamut of what you should look for when you're looking for these things. I got a ton of here is your educational grant emails with a link to click to get that grant. Well, considering I am not in school any longer, I have degrees. I have all the degrees I will ever need or want or use in this lifetime. That's obviously spam. If you run those attachments and links, they are always virus laden. It's an attempt to get into to hijack your browser and get into your computer. Good morning, Krabby. Um, Without a crystal ball. Yes. The X Beast Boys got into my brain with that stupid song. Now it's like I sing it a lot. My poor husband's like, shut up. I don't want to hear about that. It's kind of funny. So, all the malware, that's exactly right. So, they're sending tons of malware. The other ones that I get a lot are these things. I'm sharing this document with you about, and I've seen it about anything to do with social work. I got one this morning that said hanging out and shopping, every imaginable. Um, she is a form of malware. I agree with that. I've seen every imaginable subject you can mention with the attachment that is malware and full of every imaginable form of subject, and it is all malware. It is all viruses. It's all meant to hijack your thing. The one that I keep getting too that's interesting, and that I got probably 25 of last night, was a fake UPS thing saying that they had a package to deliver to me, but they did not have my address. I needed to click on a link and update my address. I believe that is an attempt by someone connected to her to get my mailing address to add me to the lawsuit. Good luck with that. UPS has my real address here. They have my real address in the States. You're not getting it, girl. No matter how you try, and they're all hidden and they're all run through my corporation. So I think, do I think that Katie herself is doing this? Like I said, unlikely, but I think it's related to her. If the Lori Ann Barnhart um, thing was anything to, we know that she likes to play these games. I'm watching more and more people I know on Twitter and on Facebook who have spoken out against her, who are also getting the same things. So at the end of this, I'm going to link to my blog where I took screen caps of all this crap and broke it down which ones you should avoid. A lot of people don't know that. People who are naive and innocent will say, oh, there's the thing about shopping and hanging out. Let's click on this. And all their information would go to Haxalot, Staxalot, Haxalot, her, her. And with a crystal ball. Grammy, I can just imagine your husband grimacing when you sing that song. My poor husband grimace. He's told me he's sick of hearing about her. He's sick of me ranting about the precipice in this case. The whole thing. I know he was an engineer for an internet company. That's another thing that I think is suspicious, and I think that it plays in here. This is all clearly attempts to get all of us to stop talking about her, to stop talking about the case, and to not speak to Saltsy. I think she is so desperate to shut down any conversation with Saltsy, especially now that Lorianne has filed her paperwork. Um, yeah, I get fishing too, but I get normal, regular fishing. I don't get it on these mass waves the same ways. And I'm not even talking about the spam, the porn she signed me up for, or someone signed me up for, the let's have an affair, hey, work as a hooker things that I've been signing up for lately. Last night it was Anderson Windows. Somebody signed me up with all these companies for Anderson Windows to do a quotation to put new windows in my home. If I could get Anderson Windows put in this house, man, I would be happy. I would be so happy about that because I've just got crappy Costa Rican windows. They're single pane that don't fit well. And that's like actually one of our next projects is going to be to replace all of our windows with decent windows. and to remodel the kitchen. So, KJ's Hacker Buddies, Stacker Slacker Buddies, send me emails with offers to buy appliances cheap, please. Send me kitchen remodels. I need kitchen remodels. I can't any I cannot even decide on tile. I love this purple tile that has got the most beautiful um, glaze on it. It's like carnival glass. It's very bizarre, but it doesn't fit the color scheme of the house at all. So I'm so tempted to use this, but I'm like going, well, do I paint my kitchen a lovely light green, a light purple? What am I going to do here if I use this tile? Because I want to do a big tile backsplash behind the sink and behind the stove. Put in a new stove, put in something that Costa Rica lacks, which is a fan. You know, the vented hoods that we have in the United States. I do not have one. And let me tell you, when you don't have one, the grease builds up under the countertop, under the cabinet. And that is a pain in the butt. If you burn something, man, you're out of luck. You're full of smoke. It's awful. I'm getting them. Oh, if they really want to troll me, yes, set up a GoFundMe to pay for my kitchen. Be like Jill Rodriguez. Give me that money. So many possibilities. You are right, especially when you look at the behaviors that are all surrounding Katie Joy. She is in this circle that ripples outward of this bad behavior. Everybody she influences this way, and it's all to shut everybody up. Um, oh, it is her favorite color. Oh, maybe I'll go back to turquoise because I started with turquoise. I wanted this turquoise tile that had this shiny, iridescent kind of topping. But the kitchen and the living room are done in this ugly rust color, and that has got to go. So I've got to figure out what I am doing. She is a chaos generator. She genuinely is. I think that's how she's going to handle this case. She's shown so far that that is going to be her response: is fling mud, fling dung, cause drama. And I'm still puzzled by this 220 plus page precipice because if I remember right, the judge limited any orders filed to so many pages, and it wasn't anywhere near that. So why exactly they feel bound and determined to violate every rule that the judge set up in this case? I would love to know that. I would love to scoop out that brain of hers and find out the whys. She is a circle of chaos, most definitely, and nothing sticks. I love turquoise. I would have painted this entire house turquoise. One day soon, I'm going to give you guys a guided tour of my guest house, which I've had people in recently. It's turquoise. I painted the inside turquoise. I did all kinds of things. I'm going to replace the countertop with turquoise tiles. It's my favorite color, but my husband doesn't like turquoise that much, so I'm having to deal with him, which is why our bedroom is now yellow, and I have blue accents because when you have two people, yeah, that page limit 16 lines should be 26. You are right. I'm mind blown by how badly they're just running roughshod over the laws and rules. I think it's very demonstrative of how Katie runs her life. She thinks that no rules apply to her and no laws, and she just thinks that the rules that apply to the rest of us, those rules of polite society, don't apply to her. I don't always like them. Like today, I was at church and somebody was talking some utter twaddle, and I wanted to laugh in their face, but I just nodded and smiled, even though I wanted to say, that is the most ridiculous end time scenario I have ever heard. Report lies, get sued. Throw mud profit. And I know that she's got to be overjoyed by the number of hits that this is driving. When we were friends, she used to always say she never minded the drama because it would drive the hits to her site. The more hits she could get, the better it was, the more money, and it did not matter. Money is her God. She wants to be paid. She doesn't want to actually have to work to be paid. Yeah, I just want the judge to rule on jurisdiction too, and I don't think it's going to go well for her. Federal court plays out much different than state court. Um, it's a federal defamation suit of a company to a company and an individual to an individual, individuals that own the company. So that's a little bit different than, say, when Jilly Juice tried to sue her in small claims court in Ohio. A little bit different. That got tossed. But Jilly Juice has tried several times to sue Katie because of all the things Katie was saying, which weren't necessarily untruths. She was just being rather speculative. If you remember right, Katie said a lot of things that were kind of clickbaity about her. And she used a lot of information from that Dr. Phil show. Why Katie won't do Dr. Phil, I don't know. I kind of wish she would. That would be interesting to watch. So we will see. And I don't understand the energy either. I mean, I'm 60 now. I don't have that kind of energy. I don't want that kind of energy. I have to champion my energy and reserve it because of the asthma. Those days I have lots of it. I can get stuff done. There are days when I'm in that bed, laying down, sucking on the nebulizer, and that's the most. Um, I have to think that maybe there's some kind of substance abuse issues going on here at the same time, specifically when you look at what happens when she is online at night, the things she says. I just have to wonder about that. I know she takes Adderall. I don't know if she abuses it, but there's just so much there. I mean, I know what it's like to have ADD. I have adult onset ADD myself. I mean, my pastor could tell you I have to be fiddling with something in my hands to listen, which is why I can't do these super long live streams. I can't give them. I can't listen to them. I have to have something in my hands. Even last night when I listened to Emily for a while, I had my crocheting in my hands, or I have my iPad and I'm playing a video game. I can only actively listen with the way my brain is malformed when I'm manipulating something with my hands. It doesn't make any sense. So there's something going on there that's just not right. We're seeing the circle of chaos. I want to say I'm terribly sorry to all of you out there that are getting hacked, that are getting the weird emails, who are getting the hack attempts to get into your emails, into your different things. Someone did try to hack all of my husband's accounts recently. I believe it was related to her, but I don't know. We have two-step validation on everything we do, so it would be really hard for somebody to hack either one of us, not to mention the VPN and some of the other things that we run here to stay out of it. Yeah, I don't understand how she can go and go and go and not crash. That's really bizarre because everybody I've known that have had significant substance abuse issues, they do crash eventually and have to take a few days off and sleep. So I'm not sure. I'm still trying to parse all this is going on. Exactly why. Eileen, that's always a possibility, and that's actually pretty easy to get, is my understanding. I have a big bottle of those. I only use those when I have an asthma attack, and it's bad. If the asthma attack starts spinning into a panic attack, I use those. In fact, I should do a video about that because it was one thing I did on NLQ that I'm very proud of. I wrote a lengthy article about how to deal with a panic attack, having a panic attack plan. If you know you're prone to having panic attacks for whatever reason, chemical, physical, mental, you if you have a plan and you tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do, you set up your supplies and you enact that plan, guess what? It makes the attack go away quicker. You feel a lot better. You feel in control of what you're doing. I suspect a lot of what we're seeing here is someone that does not feel a sense of control in their own lives. So they try to control everything on their cyber life. Eileen, yeah, I don't know, but that's definitely a possibility to think about. There are other downers that you can take that sometimes have a rebound effect and make you manic. I mean, that's a possibility too. I don't really know for sure. It'll be interesting. It would be interesting if we could have her sit down for a psych eval and a drug test. And on that note, I'm running out of air. It's time for me to go swimming and cook some lunch, I guess. And you guys all have a great day. I'm going to post a link, like I said, to the thing I did about what these kind of hacking emails look like. And here's hoping nobody gets them and nobody else gets any more death threats. That just needs to end. It's just middle school. Love you guys. Have a great Sunday.